I'm Alexander Quon here with Regina Police Chief Farooq Sheikh. Looking back at the year that was. Now, Chief, I'll start off by asking you, this is your first year in Regina, really on the job. How has it gone so far? What has your experience been like so far?
Well, it's a couple of days ago was a year when I got sworn in. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, when you probably remember when I first came, I came with a double fractured ankle, so the first couple of months was difficult. But I've worked in many places around the world, and I will say, and I've said it many times, I've never felt a community spirit like it here. And I think people in Regina are amazing. I love working here, I love the city, and I get to work with some great people. And what I like even more is how embracing the communities are. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm continuing to enjoy it.
You know, you have a background in policing, like you mentioned, across the world. The community here has embraced it. For you, in terms of running an organization, what's been different running the Regina Police Service than compared to Alberta Sheriffs like you did previously?
Well, Alberta Sheriffs, for anyone who doesn't know, is province-wide. So I had locations all across the province. So it's quite difficult to manage and lead when you're doing it remotely. Regina, all my staff within Regina, and as we know, you can get from one part to Regina to the other within 20 minutes, which again is slightly different from Alberta, because as you know, the province is massive. But so I think people are people. It's just about being able to be more visible, and I found it's easy to be more visible here because of size and because the majority of us are in close proximity rather than spread across the province.
And for, I remember when we first talked, I think it was, you mentioned you wanted to kind of get a sense of the operations here before you kind of said maybe what you'd want to do differently. How is that kind of getting a sense of things here, how we operate, how Regina Police Service operates? How's that gone for you so far?
Well, really good, because I think if you go into a new organisation, change things straight away without having the knowledge, the experience and speaking to staff, I don't think it goes down very well. And I don't think you can make an informed decision. So for me, getting to speak to staff, to engage with staff, to go and look and see what happens and involve them, I get to understand how it is. At the same time, I thought it was important for me not only just to meet staff internally, but it's to meet key partners externally. Because to understand what the community feel, you know, what they want, what's working, what's not working. And that's some of the reasons that I introduce all out days. So, you know, once a month, I and all my senior officers and majority of police service that don't normally go out and patrol will go out and patrol. It's an opportunity for me to understand what the staff do, and also an opportunity to understand what the community want.
And what's the feedback from the community been on these all-out days?
Outstanding. Everyone outstanding. The amount of people we've interacted with is phenomenal. The engagement we do is phenomenal, and they love hearing it and seeing it. So everyone we've done, it's been really, really positive, and we try to do them at different wards, different places around Regina as well. So we haven't just targeted one area all the time. So it's been really, really positive. Opportunity for me to meet people, opportunity for me to pop into shops, to retailers, to speak to businesses, speak to residents, and the feedback has been really, really good. And actually, the feedback internally has been good as well, because a lot of officers, you know, they forgot how much they enjoy going out on patrol. And some officers are not in uniform. We get them back in uniform to go out on patrol as well. And it's good. And it's been good for me as well.
And it gets the community more familiar with the police that they're interacting with,
yes.
Right? In terms of learning the things that you maybe might want to do differently, has there been anything that you've wanted to change or implement that you've kind of learned by being here for a year so far?
Well, I think one of the things is a lot of the feedback from the communities downtown wasn't as positive, and people were concerned about shopping downtown, people were concerned about visiting downtown, and people were concerned about working downtown. And that causes me some concerns as well, because we don't want an area that people don't want to shop or be. So we listen to the community, listen to the residents, listen to the shoppers. And one of the things that we really wanted to do and get it up and running really quick was a downtown policing team, which we've done. And that has been an incredible success so far. And as you've probably seen, the AROs, we're not just AROs, we've also got regular cops with them. So that was one big thing that we need to get up and running really, really quick. And that's been really, really well received, and the feedback is outstanding. And I can only see that going from strength to strength.
And is it something that you've heard, obviously, good feedback about it, but is it something that you want to see grow in years to come? Obviously, I think the city wants people to go downtown. Yeah. You know, the city wants people to live downtown. Do you see that kind of being a growth point and seeing more officers dedicated to teams like that?
I do, and we've actually just went live a few days ago on a recruitment to hire more AROs. So what we're looking to do, we're trying to get more AROs on because we understand the importance of what they're doing. We also understand it's for hiring process, it's quicker to hire them, it's quicker than to put them through our academy, so to speak, and it's quicker for them to get out on the street. So yeah, it's really, really important for us to look at that and reflect and learn from other agencies that have worked with AROs or community support officers, because they're all called different names in different areas. I've been fortunate, 20 years ago I worked with police community support officers in England, so I understand the benefits of it. And what it does, it helps us interact, engage, build partnerships, and networks for our communities that are vulnerable. So it's we are looking to hire, and we went live I think Monday this week.
And in terms of getting these kind of building that trust within the community, giving people options where they can build relationships. It's not just AROs, but it's police officers when they go out into the community and do those all-out days that you mentioned. For you, what has it been like having you go out in the community, go out and patrol and talk with people?
Well, for me, it's I'm used to doing it because in England we adopted community police, and it's not that I'm used to do it. I'm really passionate. I enjoy doing it. But for me, it's been great because I think it's been received really, really well. Not only for the communities, because I'm taking time to listen and engage and understand and be inclusive, but for my staff internally, because rather than me coming to change a lot of policies or procedures internally, at least I remain grounded and I get an opportunity to go out and understand. So it's really important for me, my deputy chiefs, my superintendents, my inspectors, my staff sergeants, and so on. And a lot of people have come to me who at first were a bit resistant or reluctant to go out, who worked in plainclothes units, have said that they forgot how much they enjoyed to put the uniform on and go back out and talk to people.
Mm. And so in terms of the kind of tools available, I wanted to ask about the aerial support unit, the airplane. I know it's been out of service for a while, but I think for police it was kind of a tool that they really wanted, a tool that they felt was useful. How has it been without having that in service for much of the year?
Well, it's difficult because throughout my 32 years of policing, I've always worked with aerial support unit. If it was Calgary, in London, in England, in Birmingham, every police service I worked for, so I understand the benefits of it. So let me just tell you something about the benefits of the aerial support unit, is that sometimes, we may be forced to pursue somebody in a vehicle, and that pursuit could end up being dangerous because of the manner of driving of the person we're chasing. With the aerial support unit, sometimes that takes away that pursuit, and it's got somebody in the air safely, monitoring somebody. Then when somebody escapes and runs off, the aerial support can pick them up in a safe manner and direct us in. So the efficiency of an aerial support unit is outstanding to reduce damage, reduce pursuits, etc. And it has. So without it, of course, it's difficult, but we've just had to manage the best we can, and we're hopeful that it's going to be back very soon because the staff that work on it miss it, we miss it, because we don't want to have the unnecessary pursuits that we don't want to have. We don't want to have suspects who commit serious offences getting away because we can't apprehend them. And having the eyes in the sky looking down on us, it enables us to apprehend the people that we need to apprehend in a safe manner.
And that safety thing is important for you and your officers, obviously, but also for the community as a whole.
Yes.
I wanted to also ask about, and in fact, this was just introduced in the legislature fairly recently, kind of new regulations around restricting the use of bear spray, long knives, machetes, these type of things, basically street weapons that can be used as weapons on the street. It requires communities to opt into them. Have you seen a problem in Regina with the use of bear spray, long knives, machetes? Is it something that you'd want to see the city adopt?
Well, I think anything to reduce crime, I'm all for. So having restrictions on people carrying bear spray is something. When I first came, we had a couple of calls in the shopping mall with people using bear spray, but I can say in the last few months we haven't had that. So it's not. I know in Saskatchewan they've had more, but we haven't seen the level that other places have. But any restriction we can have to reduce, especially young people being able to access knives, weapons, bear spray, etc., I support 100%.
Regina's also gone through. You mentioned not seeing the kind of same type of incidents that Saskatoon has seen. In Regina here, there's only been, I think, 5 homicides now recorded this year so far. That's really low for Regina in the past decade or more. Is there something that you think has changed in Regina this year, where we're seeing less homicides, or what do you attribute that to?
Well, I think well, first I wanna praise my homicide unit and the detectives, and I want to praise the call takers when we have calls for service coming in, because we respond as quick as we can. But the investigating strategy that we do is really good, and obviously our liaison with the Crown is really good. So majority of the homicides that we've had over the last 4 years have been solved, nearly all of them. And I've never seen that anywhere I've worked. So the level of investigative capacity that we have, so when we have a homicide, all our detectives come in and they really do everything they can, especially in that first 24 to 48 hours. So the level of that has been good. So the solvability rate has been great. And if we can take somebody off the streets who just killed somebody, how many other people we prevented from being killed? So I think some of that, because we're taking people off the street, we're apprehending people, we're charging them, they get in prison for homicide. If they were out, potentially they could have killed a few more people, and so the homicide rate could have increased to the levels that we were a few years ago.
Interesting. And I also wanted to ask about this has been a new program that was introduced, the complex needs shelters.
Yes.
We talked about it before.
Yeah.
You kind of said, this is something we want, this is something we've advocated for. What has it been like for Regina police officers on the front lines? What's the response been from your officers? What have you seen? Has this new program been useful?
Yes, well, it only started around about the beginning of July, so it's changing the culture within. Because what would happen before, and you probably know, if somebody's drunk, or they're impaired through drugs, they may come into the cells and they might sit in the cells for 8, 10, 12 hours, and they get discharged out. And then next day or the day after, they may end up coming back. And we're not the experts. We don't have all the skills and ability to treat them or signpost them. So since the complex needs shelter, and it was a government initiative, we've been transporting people to there that would normally come to the cells, and it's not the right place to be in the cells. So they're able to get them the support they need. They're able to get the social work they need. They're able to the mental health and addiction they need. So for me, it's a plus, because if we can take away people being in the cells and keep coming in the cells, then it's a positive. We haven't had the opportunity to do a big review to see how many people go into complex needs shelters end up going into complex needs shelters again. So there's some review that we're going to need to do, because like I say, it's only been up and running nearly 6 months. Or 5 months. We need to understand how many people go there, how many people have we prevented from coming here, and how many people have got the support that they need. That's some of the research that we need to do.
But has it, for officers in general, has it kind of made their jobs a little easier? You said, instead of transporting them to cells, having someone sit there for 8 hours, you're sending them to these complex needs shelters. Has it made the jobs of police easier, or made it, has it made their jobs of police easier?
Well, it will ultimately make their jobs easier, because what we're doing, we're taking away people in our cells that don't need to be there. Because when they're in cells, we have to monitor them. We have to check on them every 15 minutes. We have to make sure they're okay. So we don't have to do that. And then they get so when the staff take them there, the initial thing going to the complex needs shelter may take a couple of minutes longer just to hand them over. But ultimately, it'll make not just our jobs easier, but more importantly, the vulnerable people that need the support get the right support. And that's the most important thing for me.
Fentanyl overdoses still a problem in Regina. I don't think we're seeing as high numbers as previous years, but it's still a concerning number. We've talked about this before. Police are the ones who do respond first to incidents sometimes, but they're not necessarily the best equipped to do that. I guess in Regina, how do you approach the kind of overdose crisis, the overdose numbers that we have here?
Well, the overdose numbers are really high, and a lot higher than I've seen in a lot of other places. It's and what I can say at the moment, obviously, we respond. EMS, others respond as well. So it's not just us. My staff have been able to save the lives of many people by administering first aid or Narcan, etc. But I think support such as the complex needs shelters, getting other people suitable support, getting people housing, and these are the other stuff that's got to be done around the scenes. But still, when a call comes in 911 and somebody's in distress or needs some support, we will always respond. So we'll continue doing what we're doing, but at the same time, we're working in collaboration with our partners, such as the government for the complex needs shelter, to try and prevent it. But I can say that any overdose is one too many, in my views, and And I also got to think about, obviously, the staff go out and they save the lives of many, you know, and which I'm grateful for. But again, any loss of a life is one too many. And then also, I also got to think of the impact it has on my staff. You know, especially when you're trying to resuscitate someone and bring them back and they don't get through. So it's challenging. But at the police point of view, we're going to work in collaboration as best we can. But whenever somebody calls 911 and the need for urgent attention or support from the police, will always be there.
There was a kind of an interesting blitz throughout the year. At one point, for a month, every driver who stopped underwent a mandatory breathalyzer. Obviously allowed under the law. What was the response? What did you find out from those kind of that blitz that you conducted in Regina?
Well, first, mandatory alcohol screening is been in the criminal code for a number of years now. So my last organisation, we've been doing it for a number of years in Alberta Sheriffs, so you know what we want to do is obviously it's legal, so we can do it. We just want people to know that you can't be drinking and driving, you know, and you know, people who are drunk or impaired results in fatalities. So it's great to have that power, and again, I can some of the people that we would have apprehended, we wouldn't have apprehended normally. And I'll give you more examples from where I came from, because we've done a lot more research on it. Was, you know, we had bus drivers in Alberta that taking kids to school and they were impaired. And we had a number of truck drivers, you know, carrying a truck of 80 tonne or if not more, impaired. So there's people that were apprehended that would normally have been breathalyzed in a traditional way.
And for police, was there a response from the public when you started doing this blitz? What was it like for frontline officers?
Well, for some frontline officers, well, for most of them, it's new. They didn't think to do, and for the public, it's new. So it's about, you know, we just need to explain. We need to explain to the public, you know, the powers that we've got to do, because some people are thinking, well, why are you breathalyzing me? And because some won't have been drinking, but it's a power that we have. We haven't used it on everybody. Like I say, in other provinces, Alberta, especially the sheriffs, their traffic officers in particular, they do it on all traffic stops.
Is it something you want to see, rather than just a blitz, you know, every day for that, or every stop for that month? Yeah. Would you want to see RPS do it more often, like they do?
Well, I think I'd just like to review, you know, the results that we had in detail. Still review what's happening in Alberta, and see whether, you know, we need to use it for every single stop. Or we do it, you know, for a period of a month here or wherever else, but we have the power to do it on every single stop.
Mm. And for alcohol, obviously breathalyzer is a thing. In terms of cannabis, is there a kind of a particular challenge in that way for you?
Well, I think, you know, if we think somebody's impaired through alcohol, we can breathalyze them. If we think somebody's impaired through drugs, and we think they're driving as a result because they've taken too much drugs, then you know we do have drug recognition, and we do have officers trained to be able to support with that. But the drugs is harder to identify than the alcohol, because the alcohol you blow into a machine and you can see that your reading's over the prescribed limit.
Obviously, there's been kind of like a rise of social media and kind of people recording police. One social media account in particular, Just Bins, it's been known to post videos of police officers when there is an active situation. Like they take drone shots and then post it online. Is that a concern for you as the head of the Regina Police Service? Does it make your job and your officer's job more complicated when there's, you know, an anonymous account that just posts police locations, police, you know, investigations, active kind of situations that they're involved in? Does it make your job more difficult?
I think it can make our job more difficult, because if we're doing active surveillance or on something and somebody else is posting that live, it could compromise the safety of the officers, compromise the safety of the people that we're dealing with, and compromises the effectiveness of the operation we're doing. So it can make it more difficult, or it depends on what's been circulated. What's been circulated, is it a true account of what's happened? So again, it can make it more difficult. But again, we're used to social media now. We know that people can record us on their phones and everything else. And what we do, we just need to remain professional with everything we do. But the stuff that you've mentioned, at times it can make it more difficult for us.
Is it something that you've had to kind of adjust and talk to your officers about and doing something different now that, I mean, social media's been around for a while, but I think accounts like this kind of treat it a little bit differently. Is it something you've had to brief your officers on or make them aware that this is something that might happen?
I think all the officers here are fully aware. They're fully aware that everything we do out there, that we could be recorded by anyone, from CCTV, ring doorbell, or somebody's cell phone. So everybody's fully aware that, and again, we just need to ensure what we do. We act professionally and we do the right thing at all times.
Okay. Chief, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.